ninth chapter, heading Benedicting the Gopis. Once upon a time, Mother Yasoda, seeing her maidservant engaged in different duties of household affairs, she personally took charge of churning butter. And while she was churning butter, she was also singing the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna and was enjoying such feelings. That's where when Mother Yasoda was churning butter, at that time she tightly wrapped the end of her sari, and on account of her intense love for her son, milk was automatically leaking from her breast, which were moving because she was laboring very hard, and while she was churning with her two hands, the bangles and bracelets on the hand were tinkling on account of being dashed against each other. The earrings and the breast being shaked, there were drops of perspiring on the face, and the flower garland which was on her head was dispersed hither and thither. And on this picturesque sight of Mother Yasoda, Lord Krishna as a child appeared before her, because he felt hungry, and by increasing the feeling and love of his mother, wanted his mother to stop churning, indicating that her first business was to suck him breast first. He indicated in such a way that the mother was informed that she must suck her breast to Krishna at first, and then she should churn again. Next, at that time, Mother Yasoda took her son on the lap and pushed the nipples of her breast within the mouth of Krishna, and while Krishna, sucking the milk, was smiling, she was enjoying the beauty of the face of her child. Just at this time, the milk pan, which was on the oven, all of a sudden become swollen. Mother Yasoda, just to stop the overflow of the milk on the ground, immediately left aside Krishna and went to the oven to get down the milk pan. When Mother Yasoda left Krishna in that state, he became very much angry, and his lips and eyes became red on account of anger. He pressed his teeth on the lips, and taking a stone piece, immediately broke the butter pot, and taking butter out of it, and with false tears on his eyes, began to eat the butter in a secluded place. In the meantime, Mother Yasoda returned to the churning place after setting the overflowing milk pan in order, and when she returned back, she saw that the earthen pot in which the churning sugar was kept was broken, and she could not find his boy on the spot. She could conclude that it was the work of his son who broke the pot, and began to smile because she thought within herself, the child is very clever, after breaking the pot, he has gone away from this place, fearing that I may punish him. When she, however, saw Idar and Dilin, she could find that there was a big wooden grinding motor which was kept upside down, and she saw her son was sitting on that grinding motor and was engaged in feeding the monkeys, taking out butter which was hanging on the string. He also saw Krishna was looking hither and thither in fear of his mother, because he was conscious at that time that such action would not satisfy his mother. Mother Yasoda, after seeing her son so engaged, very silently began to proceed from the backside of his son. The son, however, could find out that his mother was coming with a stick in her hand, and immediately the son got down from the grinding motor and began to flee away out of fear of his mother. Mother Yasoda also began to follow him all sides, just to capture the supreme personality of Godhead, who is never approached even by the expert meditational exercise of the mind of great yogis. In other words, the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is never caught hold of by yogis or gyanins, was just playing like a little child of a great devotee like Mother Yasoda. Mother Yasoda, however, could not follow so hastily as a child was running fast on account of her thin waist and heavy body. Still, she tried to follow the child as fast as possible, and in this way a bunch of her hair become loosened, and the flowers fixed up in the hair began to fall down on the ground. And although she felt tiresome, still somehow or other she could reach her naughty child and capture him. When Mother Yasoda captured Krishna, Krishna was almost on the point of crying, and he was trying to smear over his eyes, which were anointed with black eye cosmetic. The child was repeatedly seeing the face of his mother while standing down, and his eyes became too much restless on account of fear. Mother Yasoda could understand that Krishna was being afraid unnecessarily too much, so for the benefit of her child, she wanted to stop such fearfulness. Next paragraph. Being the topmost well-wisher of her child, Mother Yasoda began to think within herself, if the child would be too much fearful of her, I do not know what would happen to him. Thinking this, Mother Yasoda immediately threw away the stick in her hand. But in order to punish her child, she thought of binding her hands with some rope. Without knowing the influence of her little child, that it was impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yasoda, although she was thinking Krishna as her petty child, she did not know that the child had reading. Practically, he was himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Mother Yasoda, thinking of Krishna as her child, although he was beyond the reach of all senses, she endeavored to bind up the child with the wooden grinding mortar. When she was thus binding the offensive child, she found that the rope she gathered was shorter by 2 inches. Therefore, she gathered more ropes from the house and added to it. But at the end, she saw again the same shortage. In this way, she collected all the ropes available at home. But when the final lotting was recorded, she saw that it was still shorter. Thus, Mother Yasoda, while smiled, became astonished how it was happening. Next paragraph. While Mother Yasoda was trying to bind her son, she became too much tired and she was perspiring. And on account of her being fatigued, the garland on her head fell down. Lord Krishna at that time appreciated the hard labor of his mother, and therefore being compassionate on his mother, agreed to be bound up by the ropes of Mother Yasoda. In other words, Krishna's playing as human child in the house of Mother Yasoda was his own selected pastime. Otherwise, nobody can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As the pure devotee surrenders himself unto the lotus feet of the Lord, either he may protect the devotee or vanquish the devotee forgets his own position. Similarly, the Lord also feels transcendental pleasure by submitting himself under the protection of his devotee. It was exemplified by Krishna's surrender unto his mother Yasoda. Next one. Krishna is the supreme bestower of all kinds of liberation to his devotees, but the benediction which was bestowed upon Mother Yasoda was never experienced even by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or Mother Goddess of Fortune. Next one, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as the son of Mother Yasoda or the son of Maharaj Nanda, is never so completely become known to the yogis and the gyanins as he is easily available to his devotee. Either he is appreciated as the supreme reservoir of all pleasure by such yogis and gyanins. After finishing this business, when Mother Yasoda engaged herself in the household affairs, at that time Krishna, bound up with the wooden mortar, could see in his front a pair of trees known as a pair of Arjun trees. The great reservoir of pleasure, Lord Sri Krishna thus thought himself that Mother Yasoda first of all left me without feeding me sufficiently her breast milk, and therefore I broke the pot of sugar and distributed the stocked butter in charity to the monkeys. Now she has again bound me up with the wooden mortar. I shall do something more mischievous than before. And thus he thought of breaking down 2 very tall trees known as pair of Arjun trees. That's where there was a history behind those pair of Arjun trees. The their previous life, they were born as the sons of Kuber, and their name was Nalakuba and Monigriva. Fortunately, they became within the vision of the Lord. In their previous life, they were cursed by the great sage Narada in order to bestow upon them the highest benediction of seeing Lord Krishna. This benediction of cursing was bestowed upon them on account of their being too much forgetful by intoxication. The story will be narrated in the next chapter. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta summary study of Krishna, the 9th chapter in the matter of benedicting the gopis.